Right, let's find out what our President Jacob Zuma is up to and other leaders of the 20 countries that make up the Ocean Rim Association. They have now begun their summit in Jakarta, Indonesia. We cross over to Mzwandile Mbeje. He is in Jakarta and he's following events very closely there. Mzwandile, good to have you on the program and welcome. What's expected to be discussed at the summit?
Thank you very much, Leanne, and a very good morning to the viewers of Morning Live. The summit, as you have said correctly, is underway here in Jakarta. They are talking about a range of issues. You'd remember, Leanne, that they are commemorating 20 years of the existence of this association. But in the past, these meetings have been taking a shape of being informal, so there were no binding contracts or institutions that would carry out the program that they would agree upon. So what they've decided to do, Leanne, here is that they will sign, I think later on today, what they call Jakarta Concord. This is basically an agreement which sets a vision for this association. So it has certain priorities. As you know, that these countries that are meeting here are countries that are bordering the Indian Ocean. So they've seen a lot of potential in the ocean economy. One of the priorities is that they need to exploit that sector. Yes, already Indian Ocean accounts for more of cargo shipping trade, but they want to increase that for the benefit of their countries. And the maritime safety, you know, the piracy on these seas is a problem. So that's one of the areas they would also agree on to make sure that they eliminate it. Indeed, the women empowerment and good governance, those are some of the areas that they are talking about as we speak right now, Leanne.
So I'm reading as well that besides this as happening in Indonesia, in Jakarta, there is going to be the next IORA Council of Ministers meeting that will take place in Durban later on this year, where South Africa is assuming the chair of the IORA. Talk to us a little bit more about that and the chairmanship that South Africa has.
Yes, Leanne, as we are in Indonesia, because the Indonesia is the current chair, and the previous chair was Australia, and the next chair is South Africa. Right now, this program that is happening here is being driven by what they call the Troika, the outgone chair, the current chair, and the incoming chair. The reason South Africa is really part of this Troika because this association will then be chaired by South Africa. You know that it is a 2-year cycle. So starting from 2017 to 2019, South Africa will be the next chair. And it comes very suitable for a country like South Africa, which has already identified ocean economy as one of its key job drivers. So this will then place South Africa at the center of driving this blue economy, as they call it. And it will actually help because South Africa would tap into countries like Australia, which are really advanced in this sector, and countries like in Indonesia. So it will really help in terms of placing South Africa firmly in the blue economy that it has already identified, Leanne.
Yeah. When we look at the grouping of the Indian Ocean Rim Association, just a final question. Obviously, we're talking the 20th anniversary, 20 years of existence. When we look over the years that they have existed, have they done much for the countries that are on the rim of the Indian Ocean? How much have they done for these countries?
Leanne, this is a very important question that you've just posed. Maybe we can just go back to say this association was formed at the suggestion of our former president, President Nelson Mandela. He said in 1997, given that we have such a huge ocean and there are so many countries around that ocean, is there nothing that can be done in order to make sure that they work together? So from that time, so this association was put together. But what it has been doing, Leanne, is that it's been meeting only at a level of ministers. So its headquarters are in Mauritius. So it was more of an informal gathering of these countries. So this summit, because it's attended by heads of state and government, so is the first summit in 20 years. The reason why they've elevated to this level of a summit, because they've realized that there's a lot more they can do other than an informal gathering where they just talk, but nothing gets done. So one of the things they will decide here is the action plan. They've identified the blue economy, but they have decided to have an action plan that will follow up on all those things that they have agreed about: maritime safety, fighting extremism, especially in the oceans, and of course empowering women and dipping so much into the ocean economy, Eliane.
Fantastic. Good luck. Thank you so much for chatting to us about this, and we'll continue to follow it. Mzwandile Mbeje, who is, of course, in Jakarta following this summit that's taking place. So interesting to hear, if you can see that half of the world's trade travels through these countries and the Indian Ocean, where they touch on the rim of the Indian Ocean. So there's a lot of money to be made and potential.